Ohai. Borisov, the city in Belarus, the administrative center of Borisovsky district of the Minsk region. The territory of the city -46 km. The population of the city -140,700 people. For January 1, 2020. Costs on the river Berezina in 77 km from Minsk. Borisov. Day of the Belarusian writing. Art envelope of 2008. A monument to the founder of the city Prince Boris against the background of the station and Borisovsky Resurrection Cathedral, a municipal coat of arms. Artist Mykola Rizy. The city of Borisov is mentioned in the Lithuanian Chronicles 1102. In 1102 the Prince Boris Veslovich went on and then put a hill in the name. The city arose on the place of confluence of Ski and Berezina and is called by the name of the Polotsk Prince Boris. Radovold. Veslovich. The first mention of the city in the Lavrentyevsky Chronicle belongs to 1127, and in Ipativskaya by 1128 as fortresses of the Polotsk Principality. The pioneer settlement burned down as a result of the strong fire, what archaeological excavations testify to. The new city arose to the south where her inflow of Ski falls into Berezina. On this place in the 12th century wooden fortress was constructed. The new city arose 4 km below on a watercourse, to the southeast from initial arrangement. On the left coast of Berezina at merge of the Prilya river to her on the island of 200 in size. 300 m in the 12th century the wooden lock which existed up to the 18th century was constructed. The Borisovsky lock was the wooden and earth strengthening surrounded with a deep ditch with water about 2 hectares. Over time constructions extended. In the middle of the 19th century on the place of the decayed constructions of the lock the prison lock was constructed. At the moment here the building relating to objects of historical and cultural value of Belarus is located what the established memorable sign confirms. Thanks to a geographical location already to the middle of the 13th century Borisov is among the known trade and craft centers. At the end of the 13th century Borisov was a part of Grand Duchy of Lithuania. Is listed analytic, the Russian cities distant and near. The end of the 14th century. In 1563 Borisov acquired from the Grand Duke Sigismund the Magdeburg right exempting residents from feudal duties and granting him the right for self-government. Since 1569, after signing of the Lublin Union, Borisov up to the 18th century was in borders of the Polish-Lithuanian state, the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth. In 1662 through the city the Austrian diplomat and the traveler Meyerberg Augustine who left the description of architecture, life of inhabitants and vicinities of Borisov passed. Numerous wars repeatedly ruined and devastated Borisov. At the beginning of the 15th century intestine fight of Princes Yaghello, Zygmunt and Svidrigailo almost completely destroyed the city. In June 1655 near Borisov the Prince Yuri Beryatinsky at the head of a 2,000 advanced regiment broke group of the Lithuanian troops. During War of Russia and the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth of 1654-1667 he was occupied several times the Russian troops of the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth. See Borisov's sieges. Seriously he suffered, and in the years of Northern War of 1700-1721. In 1792 the King Polish Stanislaw Poniatowski granted the city coat of arms. Together with Minsk and the Belarusian lands, Borisov entered into structure of the Russian Empire after the second section of the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth in 1793, having become the district city. On January 22, 1796 the municipal coat of arms, Law No. 17435, which was a little differing from previous, was approved. In the top part of a board the coat of arms Minsk. In lower, the coat of arms given by the King Stanislav Augustus. Two military towers with gate between them put in the silver field, and over it the Saint Apostle Piate standing on a cloud, who holds keys from the city in the right hand, is visible. The coat of arms symbolized firmness, inaccessibility, and an open way for neighborliness and trade. Patriotic War of 1812 scarred in the history of the city. The Berezinski crossing near Borisov, according to historians, became the most gloomy page of history of wars of Napoleon. The French still use the word Berezina. Berezina or Berezina, a synonym of a total failure and accident. Monuments at the village of Studenka and on the Brylewski field tell about events of 200 years. In Borisov the remains of the artillery battery of the Russian troops constructed on the right coast of Berezina on the eve of Napoleon's invasion remained. Batteries, the first historical monument in Borisov taken in 1926 under protection of the state. In 1985 the memorable sign is established here. In 1840 the one great parish school from the unimportant town Rodoshevichi was transferred to Borisov. In the 19th century in Borisov match factories, Victoria, Berezina and glass plant worked. In 1912 in Borisov the small sawing plant which till today exists under the name Borisovsky Sawing Plant is founded. In November 1917 in Borisov the Soviet power is established. Since 1918 the city is occupied by the German troops, but already on December 2, 1918 after leaving of the German was occupied by troops of the Soviet Russia and was a part of the Belarusian Soviet Socialist Republic, and on February 27, 1919 structure of the Lithuanian Belarusian Soviet Socialist Republic. In 1919-1920 the city was occupied by the Polish troops. On March 18, 1921 under the Riga Contract the territory of Belarus was divided between Poland and the Belarusian Sur, which independence was recognized by Poland. Borisov became Soviet. Since July 17, 1924 Borisov, the center of the region of Bees. Borisovsky-Hungary revolt of 1932 became result of failures of Soviet leadership in food policy. I caused confusion of local authorities and I led to partial cancellation of unpopular measures. For September 1, 1940 in the city were deployed by Borisovska automobile in the military camp of Furnace to the southwest New Borisova, and cavalry schools. The cavalry school was created as Minsk, but in connection with the shortage of barracks fund in Minsk, summer of 1940, the military college was transferred to Borisov and received the name Boryskoye Kavuchilish. since February 14, 1941 according to the order of the National Commissioner Obrony of USO. O 60 Kvuchaliще is reformed and armored on State No. 17/21. Rearrangement had to be complete by March 15, 1941. Prior to war, the Borisovsky Automobile School was transferred to the city of Gomel. The staff of Armored School participated in defensive actions to the country in the summer of 1941. According to the directive of the General Staff of the Red Army of July 3, 1941, the Borisovsky Armored School is evacuated to the city of Saratov and renamed into the 3rd Saratov Jew. At the beginning of July 1941 near Borisov there took place persistent fights between the 1st Roka Moscow Division and parts of armed forces of Nazi Germany. Wehrmacht. During the period from July 2, 1941 to July 1, 1944, the German occupational authorities in the city created 6 extermination camps in which more than 33,000 people died. The Jewish population of the city was driven by Nazis into a ghetto and later is almost completely destroyed. In fights for Borisov's liberation in 1944, troops of the 3rd Belarusian Front caused a stir. 13 military units and connections are awarded the honorable name Borisovsky. On the Borisovsky Earth of 29 people became heroes of the Soviet Union, including the party organizer of a tank company P.N. Rak. In honor of P. Rak's crew in the city, the monument, the IS-2 tank is established. On a city banner, an award of Patriotic War of the I degree. Since 1991, after the collapse of the USSR, Borisov treats Republic of Belarus. In 2008, Borisov became the capital of the 15th day of the Belarusian Rising, during which the city was visited by over 1,000 people. Population: 1795, 1,600 people. 1887, 17737 people, including 10300 Jews and 6264 Orthodox Christians. 1907, 18055 people. 1926, 25840 people. 1939, 49000 people. 1959, 59300 people. 1964, 69000 people. 1966, 71000. 1969, 77000 people. 1970, 84000 people. 1991, 150,200 persons. 1996, card people. 1997, 159,300 people. 2005, 146,639 people. 2006, 146,677 people. 2007, 147,031 people. 2008, 147,529 people. 2009, 147,200 people. 2013, 145,659 people. 2015, 144,945 people. On a population census of 1939, 49108 people lived in Borisov. 28815 Belarusians. 58.7%. 10011 Jews. 20.4%. 7609 Russians. 15.5%. 1176 Poles. 2.4%. 941 Ukrainians. 1.9%. 172 Germans, 0.4%. 556 representatives of other nationalities. On a population census of 1979, 79245 Belarusians, 71.4%. 24073 Russians, 21.7%. 3842 Ukrainians, 3.5%. 2346 Jews, 2.1%. 529 Poles, 0.5%. And 933 representatives of other nationalities lived in Borisov. In 2017, birth rate coefficient in the city -10.9 on 1,000 people. An average value across Republic of Belarus -10. Mortality rate -11.9 on 1,000 people. An average value across Republic of Belarus -12. On birth rate level, the city takes the 13th place among 23 cities with the population more than 50,000 people. On death rate, the 5th place, on the level of natural increase/decline in population. -1. The 17th. In 2017, 17.6% of the population of the city were aged younger than able-bodied, 57.4% at working age, 25% are aged more senior than able-bodied. The demographic structure of the population is close to average over the country. 17.7%, 57.2% and 25.1%. However, among the large cities of Borisov, the low share of the population in working age distinguishes the 18th place from 23. And the high share of the population is aged more senior able-bodied. The 4th place. Representative body of the power is the Borisovsky Regional Council of Deputies. It consists of 34 people and is elected inhabitants on single candidate districts. Term of office 4 years. The Council of Deputies of the 28th Convocation was elected on February 18, 2018. The chairman of the board is Novitsky Pite Viktorovich. Executive and administrative organ of the power is the Borisovsky Regional Executive Committee. At the beginning of the 19th century in Borisov, the first stone constructions appear. In 1806, with completion of construction of the Berezinsky water system, which connected through Berezina of Dnieper River and the western Dwina to the uniform transport line, Borisov turned into port and the center of shipbuilding on Berezina, began to play an important role in commercial relations between the Belarusian cities. In 1823, the construction of the Church of Christmas of Blessed Virgin of Maria was completed. This oldest building of religious architecture which remained in the city. The old square surrounded with malls kept characteristic features of building of the 19th century. Twice in a year on this square there took place fairs. In 1871, through Borisov, the railroad Moscow-Brest-Litovsk, the railway station was built. An industrial development of the city was thrown on a right bank of the river of Berezina. Now there is an administrative, cultural and industrial center of the city, the main residential quarters. In 1927 in Borisov the hyperboloidal water tower on Vladimir Shekov project, and in the same years, a row in style of constructivism is constructed. The total area of housing stock in Borisovsky district, most of which port is in the regional center in 2017, was 4,533.4 thousand m. In the first quarter 2019, the average selling price of the residential real estate in Borisov was $537 for 1 m. What is 2.5 times lower than in Minsk and is slightly lower than in other large cities of the Minsk region. In the city about 270 streets are presented. The most extended of them, Lopatina, the Free International, Gagarin, Chapayev, Revolutsai Avenue, Red Army, Factory, Hayes, Regiment Normandy Niemen, Dnieper, Diamond, Builders. In the city 1, Revolutsai Avenue. Borisov, the large industrial city of the Minsk region. In Borisov there are 42 plants and factories, 16 joint ventures, 700 trade enterprises and public catering of all forms of ownership. Industrial potential is considerable. It is presented by 40 enterprises of the branches of mechanical engineering and metalworking, instrument making, chemical, woodworking, pharmaceutical, production of crystalware, plastic products, matches and many other goods. Zest Borisovsky plant of units, production of turbocompressors. Zest bait on production of starters and also generators for engines. Borisovsky car repair plant. Zest the 140th repair plant, repair of the armored equipment. Just 2566 Zavod po remontu radioelektronego urashenia, repair of arms and the air defense military equipment and also other difficult radioelectronic equipment and military products. Zest Borisovsky Hrustal and Zest Belmetstekl. Earlier, the Borisovsky crystal plant. Zest Borisovsky plant Avtogidrasilitel, steering hydraulic systems. Zest Borisovsky plant of medications. Zest Borisovrev, production of matches, plywood and MMEDD. Zest Borisovsky meat processing plant No. 1. Till 2016, Zest Borisovsky meat processing plant. Borisovsky macaroni factory, Borimek. Borisovsky plant of bakery products, unitary enterprise branch. Zest Klesachimic. Earlier, the Borisovsky timber chemical plant. Production of rosin, turpentine, industrial and household chemicals. The Northwestern Administrative District of Belzhi, the Belarusian Chinese enterprise for assembly of cars. Zest Kresinotechnica, production of rubber products. Zest Borisovsky plant of plastic products, production of plastic products. Processing of the polluted polymers. Zest Borisovsky plant metallist. Earlier, the red metalworker. Paper mill unitary enterprise of Goznik, the producer of forms of the strict reporting, document paper, school notebooks and other paper products. In the org the 2010 years, a number of the large state enterprises of the city was declared by bankrupt and liquidated. As of 2021, elimination because of bankruptcy of the crystal plant operating since 1885 continues. In 1935, 2006 the factory of a piano, in 1960, 2007 the plant of household chemicals. It is attached to the plant of plastic products, production cases are sold. In 1969, 2015, the tool plant. In 1963, 2020, garment factory worked in the city. For 2006 by the industrial enterprises it is made products in established prices for the sum of 1200 billion rubles. For 2009 by the industrial enterprises it is made products for the sum of 2150 billion rubles. City public transport is presented by buses and share taxis. In the city 28 bus routes served by big buses, and 20 routes which are served by share taxis are organized. In the 1980th years in Borisov it was planned to start the trolleybus movement, however plans broke up in the 1980th years from connection with the collapse of the USSR. Since 2017 plans about start of the trolleybus movement in Borisov again on consideration. In Borisov the Borisovsky Joint Museum from 41.5 thousand museum objects of fixed assets works. In 2016 he was visited by 32.1 thousand people. National education of Borisov is 25 high schools, lyceum, 3 gymnasiums, 3 average special educational institutions. Polytechnical College, Medical College, Bain 2 branch. 3 technical training colleges, musical, art and choreographic schools. There are 4 newspapers published by 3 editions. Main sports constructions of Borisov. Borisov Arena, capacity is 13126 viewers. Soccer. The city stadium, capacity is 5402 viewers. Soccer. Sports plant. Swimming, 5-a-side, basketball, volleyball. Stadium. Soccer, artificial covering. Sports and improving complex. Swimming, 5-a-side, basketball, volleyball, billiards. The teams presenting Borisov in different types of sport. Bait. Soccer Championship of Belarus. Fomodnut and the Soccer Championship of the Belarusian Sir, the Soccer Championship of Belarus. Berezina. Soccer Championship of Belarus. Borisov -900. 5-a-side Championship of Belarus. Berezina. Basketball Championship of Belarus. Bait Gufk. Volleyball Championship of Belarus. Bait. Beach Soccer Championship of Belarus. Also far. Write comments. Read comments. Interesting people will tell interesting stories. All of good mood and good luck.